Ask Dell.
Jessica, this is the happiest day of my life. Right up there with the day I bought my RV and insured it with Progressive. Man, I love that thing. There are a million fish in the sea, which I'm reminded of every time I bring my RV to the lake, but I vow to love and cherish you just as much as I cherish campsites with full electric and water hookups. I'm so sorry.
Protect your beloved with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Yo, 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 what's up, party people? I'm Julie Foudy.
And I'm Lynn Ozawi.
We host the ESPN podcast Laughter Permitted, where we have candid chats with trailblazing women in sports and beyond.
We've talked with goats like Billie Jean King, Simone Biles, Mia Hamm, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, Michaela Schifrin, just to name a few.
So grab a donut or 500 and check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And a huge shout out to our presenting sponsor, Ally, who has supported us since day one.
It's Laughter Permitted.
Cedar Ridge Distillery continues to make a home right here in Wisconsin. The original 86 bourbon is the best-selling bourbon in Iowa for 3 straight years, and you have the opportunity to get that here in Wisconsin. Also, the quintessential, the best American single malt, voted by John Barleycorn Awards, and Cedar Ridge manages every step of the production from grain to glass. Make sure you pick up the Scalzo and Bruss private barrel of bourbon and rye whiskeys, available at Discount Liquor at 51st in Oklahoma or Barstow
Hey, it's Greg Scalzo and Ben Bruss.
Catch us Monday through Friday, 4 to 6.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
But I like the beer head, right?
It's
Although
terrible.
if the beer has head, you have to wait, you stick your finger in a little slime from your nose and whatnot. But I like... Why is he leaving again?
Well, because...
Cliff, explanation, please.
Now, how do you know he has one?
$5 says he does, 10 says it's a doozy.
When the British ruled the Punjab, $10 all the way. They drank steaming hot pots of tea on the hottest days of the year to balance out their inside and outside temperatures. See, conversely, drinking an ice-cold drink on a cold day actually results in a more comfortable body temperature.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Stuff the thing and get it, hard. It's just
so you know, Ashton almost made it back into the production office. Then you said that, and he walked back out.
But it's too limp. It's limp. It's limp biscuit.
Why do you drink ice-cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Clavin,
what else are you going to do with it?
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like
I just looked over at my phone, Gabe Neitzel.
Yes.
And it is dictating our entire conversation during the break. So I must have accidentally hit the little dictation thing on the bottom of the screen. You know, you get the little thing. So I look over and I'm like, why am I sending a text to my husband about oh. So I'm going to just delete all that. Okay, delete,
I don't think we said anything that
we
bad
didn't.
about him.
No, not nothing about him, really. We were talking about something entirely different. 138-122, that's more like it. That game last night between the Bucks and the Heat was incredibly satisfying. And actually, I could narrow it down to the first half between the Bucks and the Heat was incredibly satisfying. I guess it feels a little silly to have been, I don't know, freaking out, stressed, concerned, about the Bucks after they lost to the Heat on Sunday.
I feel most of us were at the yada 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 level.
I was stressed, but as I caveated then, it was Giannis related.
Yeah,
my stress was Giannis related. How bad is this back? How pesky is it going to be? Is it going to keep him out for a prolonged time? I was in the camp of sit him last night, if in fact it was still affecting him. Chew, I believe you were as well. And in a huge upset, huge breaking news here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Chewy actually watched the Bucks game last night.
So he watched some of the Bucks
first
game.
Quarter. I knew they were going to win.
Oh, you did?
After watching.
Miss Cleo, call me now.
You familiar with how the NBA works?
They're better.
Yes, they're a better team.
Brook Lopez he just throws it at the rim.
Yeah.
And it goes in.
Is
that how he plays all the time?
No.
That was Brooklyn Brook last night.
That's because Giannis was out. Because Giannis is usually the guy chewing up the lane. So
Yeah.
Brooke has had to learn to play elsewhere, and it has worked for them. And this team, obviously, as we talked about the other day, relies on their three-point shooting to really put some distance between themselves and their opponents. But because Giannis wasn't there, and he wasn't chewing up the lane, and he wasn't working in the paint, Brooke was left to do that. And I believe I looked first half, right? I checked at halftime. Every single shot but one by Brooke Lopez was inside. Every single shot but one. And the one outside was a miss from three. So that was obviously part of the game plan, which was get Brooke involved inside heat to the tune of 25 points last night.
And his 1-3 was like, well, everybody else is making threes. I want to make one right now. So he's just like, screw it up.
Get back inside. Get back in the paint.
So I think if Giannis didn't play this whole series, it's Bucks in 6.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the Bucks are a better team.
Now, who would they play next?
The
Knicks or Cavs.
Whoa, that's what we're doing now? That's what we're doing? We're looking ahead to the
Well,
next
I'm
series?
just saying.
The series
is tied 1-1.
This is VinceCarter.gif.
Oh, it's over.
It's over.
It's done.
This is
Oh,
done.
he's like this. He's like this.
Yeah, it's over. It's over.
But I'm saying, who would they play next?
The Cavs or the Knicks.
I'm saying they could beat them without Giannis as well.
I love this.
Probably. Now,
Yes.
His 1 quarter of Bucks basketball.
and this isn't even the quarter where they scored 47.
This isn't even the second quarter of last night's
This was the
game,
first quarter.
Which was like, I know I've used this reference before, guys, but how much was that not the Globetrotters versus the Generals?
was
That
bad.
second quarter? You may as well
Yeah.
cue up the do.
I think we rest Giannis until they play Philly.
No, you
Gabe?
can't. No, no.
Why?
Because first of all, good
Imagine
luck.
how hungry
you're going
he would
to,
be.
You're going to actually have to physically restrain him. So I don't know. Brooke's not going to be able to play because he's probably the only one big enough who's just going to have to all right, Giannis, sit down, and then Brooke has to sit on Giannis to make sure he doesn't go anywhere
But
because
I'm
that's what you'd have to do to
Combination
pull him out
of
of the
Brooke
game.
and Bobby, I actually think. I actually think you need both of those guys.
Probably
because Thanasis
one
is going to be
restraining
part of
the
the
one arm and one restraining
Good
the
tag
other
team
arm.
matchup, though.
Yeah, because then Thanasis is going to get involved trying to get those guys off Giannis so Giannis can get in, and then all of a sudden you've got a WWE tag team match.
But
would be a lot
after
of fun.
watching the first quarter, why were we, Gabe?
What?
We were mildly panicked. Why were we even mildly panicked? I feel kind of stupid.
Oh, I know the answer to this. I mean,
What's that?
it's Wisconsin sports PTSD.
Yeah. And it's tough to navigate that when it's a best-of-7 series. Because typically a lot of the PTSD things are in one-and-done tournaments. Whether that's Marquette losing in the tournament this last year. Whether that's the Packers and all of their follies in the postseason over the last 3-4 years. Whether that's going back almost a decade at this point with Wisconsin losing to Duke in the national championship. You can't, in those sports in particular, where we spend so much of our energy, get so excited in those one-and-done situations, you can't have the trip-up that the Bucks had in Game 1.
Correct.
And that's the tough part when you're navigating an NBA postseason run is you can stub your toe and then be able to bounce back and have a game like they had last night. Whereas with the Packers, I think that PTSD is, I don't know, that's ever going away.
There is still
Yeah,
a
but
lot
the
of
Bucks-
pre-programmed default setting, we can't have nice things attitude here in Wisconsin. There is. And look, you would have thought, Chew, that went away when the Bucks won the title. But to your point, the difference between a one-and-done elimination tournament, playoffs, etc., and series is that you can have a clunker. You can have a game where you don't perform at your best and still figure out a way to end up winning the series, to end up going on a long playoff run. And I think that's where people probably are today. But to me, Chew, there is this element of can't get too high, can't get too low. We hear it all the time. People say it all the time. We just don't buy it all the time, right? Because part of enjoying
by
sports...
people, do you mean the big guy? Because he's the one saying it all the time.
Oh, the can't get too high, can't get too low. I don't know where I heard it from. I just knew that I had heard it, and people say it, and then I'm supposed to subscribe to it. But part of the fun, I think, of being a sports fan is that living and dying by every possession, is that living and dying by every outcome, because you're invested. I guess I would rather be that person that's so wholly invested that I am uncomfortable when things get tight and uneasy than the ambivalent fan who's like, who cares?
But it's And it's so different
The
with
Bucks
the
have
Bucks.
a history, too, though, because remember back to the Raptors series when they're up 2-0, and we're like, this thing's done. Who do we got next? And then they lose the next 4 straight.
Yeah, that was you guys.
Basketball's different, though. Basketball's different because it's really 8-on-8, maybe, more than that. I mean, football, you're talking 22-on-22, probably even more than that. It's more probably 25-on-25.
Sure. Where how good are your top 25 guys? How good are your top 8 guys?
Correct.
Is what you're saying.
I mean, what's the NBA? Your top 4? Really?
Yeah,
and
but you
then
need
a little bit of a sprinkle?
You need to have a little bit of depth, and I think that's something that the Suns are running into because they really only have the 4, but the team that they're playing in the Clippers have a deeper roster than what the Suns have. The Suns have the better players, so that's kind of an interesting series going on out in the West. But I would say if you have a really good top 8 Jew in the NBA, you feel pretty good. You feel pretty good about your chances. And the Bucks have more than 8. The Bucks have more. That's like one of the things that Bud has to try to navigate as the postseason moves along, and that's something that the players have to kind of rectify with, much like Pat Connaughton did last night.
Correct.
And Pat probably only gets in because Wesley Matthews is out with a calf strain.
Correct.
So Pat's ready to go.
And
Pat hits a
obviously,
bunch
we
of
should take a
threes.
moment to recognize what the guys were saying. Bobby was saying it on the broadcast. I know they were talking about it after the game as well, which is to say that's a professional mindset.
Yep.
Right? A guy's going to sit the bench. He obviously wants to play. He wants to contribute. But there's something about this team, and we've seen it a lot, actually, guys, and maybe it's a Wisconsin thing, but like this idea of camaraderie and actually it matters that we all like each other and we're pulling the rope in the same direction and there's no ego or can't believe that guy's getting burned over me. Like, I think all of that, you can't quantify it on a stat sheet, but it definitely plays a role in team success.
The reason why Bobby Portis is the unofficial mayor of Milwaukee is because he also had that attitude when they won the championship in 21, because he wasn't playing at the end of the Nets series because it was just a terrible matchup for him, but then he comes back and plays against the Suns, plays against the Hawks, and everybody falls in love with Bobby Portis.
But is that a Wisconsin thing? Where teams love one another? I mean, the Packers kind of got away from it, and I mentioned it, I don't know, a month or 2. I think they're going to go back to having fun because there isn't that guy in the room that you have to tiptoe around.
Correct.
You know? Can I play a joke on this guy, or is he going to look at me funny, or is he going to go tell someone? I mean, look at the Brewers. If you said nationally, name me 6 Brewers fans. If you're in Pig's Knuckle, Arkansas.
Right?
I mean, I don't know if I can name 6 Brewers fans right now.
Right?
I mean, front row Amy,
Players.
Cato
They couldn't
Kalin.
do it.
That's true. Cato. I forgot about Cato.
I mean, it seems to me like Packer
Obviously Giannis, but he's an owner now.
Packer teams are successful when everyone gets along.
So that's always
like
that.
I'm telling Gabe, 96 wasn't only great because we won it all.
Mm-hmm.
It was great because how close we were and the guys we won it with.
Could that be, and I'm not saying that other teams don't have good chemistry or anything like that, but a lot of times Wisconsin gets ripped on, whether it's Green Bay, whether it's Milwaukee, because they're smaller towns, there's, and I'm putting this in quotations, there are less things to do. That's why it's easy for the Dan Lebatards of the world to take shots as he's sitting down there in sunny Miami to make fun of the lack of people that were outside in the 40 and rainy weather that we had this past weekend, and TNT, for whatever reason, decided to show on TV. But because there are, quote-unquote, less things to do, does that mean, like, okay, we're just going to hang out with each other, and they just end up forming these bonds? Whereas in other places, they may go, do whatever they do in big cities that apparently we don't have here.
I think there's something to that. I think look, there's only nothing to do when it's minus 30 degrees. You can't do anything, right?
Yes,
you
correct.
can't snowmobile. You can't, I wouldn't want to ice fish. But I just don't get this. And I chose to make Milwaukee my home. 92, can you do the math? I don't know. That's a lot of math.
31 years.
31 years.
God, you're old.
I've lived in Wisconsin longer than I lived in Massachusetts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've gotten to the age where I don't want to live there anymore in the wintertime, but this whole thing of, like, Right?
I don't know. I was
Summers
Oh,
in
it's fantastic.
Wisconsin
This took a really weird turn. This took a really weird turn. I understand what you're saying as far as what contributes to chemistry. Ron and the Key weighing in on our ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line saying, duh, winning leads to chemistry. And I do think there is some element of chicken or egg happening here when it comes to everybody's happy because everybody's winning. And when everybody's happy, they're winning. And when they're winning, they're happy. And da-da-da-da-da. But I also think that it's time, and this I think is what I was trying to get to, for people to shed that PTSD, we can't have nice things, because I feel like that oftentimes is what contributes to the here we go again when a team has a clunker performance or when a team all of a sudden hits the skids or has a tough stretch. The immediate response from Wisconsin sports fans seems to be, tell me if I'm wrong, 800-990-3776 seems to be, here we go again. We're going to get right up to the doorstep and we're not going to be able to walk through the threshold.
Well, and it's going to be tough to shed that label, I think, in the opening round as well. I mean, Chewy, you're the one saying that, hey, this back injury, it can linger. What if it just flares up in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics and Giannis has to miss a game or two? Then that PTSD is going to snap right back into effect. I think it's tough to shed the label when you're playing a team. Yes, the Heat have been good. The Heat aren't a very good team this year. They're just not.
But I disagree with winning. I mean, winning does. What did the texter say?
It was Ron and the Key.
Or something? What did he say?
He said winning leads to chemistry, and he actually said Gabe would have chemistry with me if we're winning.
Big if.
I disagree.
Tough to
because
win
if
with
you
Ron.
go
I'm
back
not going to lie.
92, when we were still going 9-7, we weren't dominant, but we could see ourselves heading in the right direction, and it was still fun. In regards to the Packers, that's what they got to get to. They got to see, okay, all right, 9-7. Well, whatever. I'm not doing the math today. 9-7, 11-5, 13-3.
Homie acting like there are days that he actually does math.
Today's the day. It's Thursday. You guys know I don't do math on Thursday.
Yeah. It's a progression. It's not always winning, you know? If you could see yourself heading in the right, like the Brewers, you know, they're heading in the right direction. And it makes it fun. They're going to lose.
Well, I mean,
hey, they're going to lose 6, 7 in a row at some point during the season. But they can see, hey, let's just play through this. We're heading in the right direction. We're a playoff team.
But the Brewers
try and win this
are a great example of that because their culture took a hit last year when they, and I was one of them to kind of dismiss
Hader.
Yeah.
When they traded Hader, like, okay, these guys are figuring it out. But pretty much to a man, they said, yeah, that kind of messed with our mojo, and that messed with our culture, and that affected what they did on the field in the almost immediate aftermath of that deal.
Is it time to shed the Wisconsin sports PTSD? Let us know, 800-990-3776, because I think when you see a performance like last night's, and you don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, I get it. Just like you didn't want to be a prisoner of the moment after they lost on Sunday to the Heat and lost Giannis to injury. You don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but I think what we saw last night is more representative of what this Bucks team is, Giannis or not, than what we saw on Sunday, and I think most people to a man would agree with that. I will say this, one more thing before we get to Jason Wilde here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. How fun is it watching Giannis as a spectator for his own team? Between him and Thanasis, man, I would pay for just a Giannis cam. Right? Like if he's not playing, obviously. Just a camera that is on Giannis and Thanasis the whole time, sitting on the bench, cheering, getting loud. At one point, the cameras caught him singing Baby, Baby, Baby by Justin Bieber.
I mean, slaps.
There's just so much
Nobody can deny that.
joy, just like exuding out of dude's pores at every single moment. So I think we should get that going. Maybe we put a WTMJ thing on it, right? TMJ4, 620. We're going to do the 620 Giannis cam.
Okay.
I'm just throwing out ideas for marketing. They don't have to take me up on them. I'm just free offers here for our marketing squad.
I just noticed when he jumped off the bench, the back didn't seem to be too ginger.
It's interesting,
It didn't seem like it was
up on him.
Didn't seem like he was walking around there wasn't any hesitation.
It's amazing how winning leads to chemistry. Winning also leads to miraculously your back is healed.
I mean, the dude is the Wolverine.
That's true. Heals at a rapid rate. Jason Wilde coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
There was a
person who was walking down 43 southbound on the shoulder, but that person has since been picked up. There may be a little bit of a delay, but probably not a delay, just more something to watch out for with the sheriff on the shoulder. Otherwise, we're back to no issues or delays on the roads, and volume has definitely increased, but it's still pretty quiet on the roads. And traffic is brought to you by the Milwaukee Bucks. Keep up with all the Bucks postseason action at bucks.com/playoffs. And time for a look at your Storm Team forecast. Today, showers and storms likely, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high of 65 degrees. And tonight, showers ending mostly cloudy with a low of 41. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Finn Askin on 94.5 ESPN.
Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Play Whistling Straits and other Pro Tour courses, whatever the weather is, in one of their 12 state-of-the-art simulators.
One's a Marquette Hall of Famer.
With Goody at the helm, I would say get as many picks as possible because he's going to blow a couple of them. The chance of him getting the one that he gets right
now, you should be
slim to none.
The other may or not make things up from time to time.
You should be better about Goody. He had his best draft ever last year.
Homer and Tony.
Still not?
No, he's going to blow it. Get as many picks as possible so you got an opportunity to hit on one. Don't put it all on one pick and blow it.
Weekdays 2 to 4 on 94.5 ESPN.
This Bucks team is something special. There's unbelievable, once-in-a-lifetime freakish talent like you've never seen before. The blocks, the dunks, the next-level energy, and a hungry core that's running the court, dropping shots, and posting stat after stat after stat. The playoffs presented by BMO are here. Fear the Deer. Keep up with all the postseason action at bucks.com/playoffs. That's bucks.com/playoffs.
Looking for your next night out? Q Club of Wisconsin is the hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what you got going on over there, buddy?
Hey, Gary, there's so much going on here. We've got all your favorite teams on our TVs, more pool tables than you know what to do with, and live local bands playing on Saturdays. Plus, we got bocce leagues all summer long that we're signing teams up for right now. And, of course, our fish fry piled high on Wednesdays and Fridays.
And stop by for brunch on Saturdays and Sundays at 9 a.m. Check out QClubOfWisconsin.com.
Hey, this is Bo stepping in for Ridgetop Larry. Ridgetop Exteriors is Wisconsin's #1 choice for roofing, siding, windows, and doors. We are the trusted local experts who live and work in the areas we serve, which means we're helping friends and neighbors too. On top of that, Ridgetop Exteriors offers the most affordable payment options, including no interest and low interest financing. For your free estimate, visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ready, down, put. All Packers, all the time.
I think Packers fans have every right to be excited about those guys. I just think they need to temper their expectations, especially when you think about that they're going to be playing with a quarterback who is trying to figure it out himself.
Okay, most of the time.
Almonds specifically or all nuts?
Well, these nuts, those nuts, whatever nuts work.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, brought to you by Boucher Automotive. With 16 different new car brands and over 35 pre-owned brands to choose from. Boucher Automotive, we are driven by you. And by the Bridgewater Modern Grill. Nestled in the heart of Milwaukee's emerging harbor district. Enjoy a specialty crafted menu centered around a custom oak-fed grill.
Always great to check in with our friend and teammate Jason Wilde here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Good morning, Jason. How are you doing today?
I might be the best that I've ever been when I've appeared on the show. I may be the happiest. I might be in the best mood possible, which you guys will inevitably ruin, I'm sure. But
now there's a man who's self-aware.
I'm very, very happy. Very, 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 very happy.
Well, now the inevitable follow-up is why?
Well, because you're a professional journalist. You do a heckling job. Because I
got a little action? I'm just saying, that's why I'd be happy as a clam.
Did you call me nincompoop before you get to your...
I did.
That's awesome.
And we ruined it.
Ashton Rotman informed me of a date when the Hot food truck is scheduled to appear in the greater Milwaukee Metroplex, and I think it lines up with the day that I will be in the greater Milwaukee Metroplex. So I am much closer to my first Rott's Hots experience. I'm very excited about that. Made my day. So I should probably hang up.
Feels like a bit of an overreaction, but
you have no. It's not. You don't. Look, a couple things. One, I am not proud of this because I live with a bunch of vegetarians, and I know that there are questions about what the ingredients are. I love a really well-prepared hot dog. I do. Big fan. And secondly, I feel like every one of my teammates have experienced this. Ashton is, regardless of what happens during this window of time on the show, one of the most wonderful human beings that we have on our team, that I get to talk to on a regular basis in my life. And I want to support his endeavor, and I haven't gotten to do it yet, and I've had FOMO, and that's why I'm in a great mood this morning. But thank you for questioning whether I overstated it, because now I'm pissed at you.
And it's 7:24, so I got it in and under the time I was hoping. Jason, before we get to GBP and NFL, I want to ask you this because we were talking about the Bucs win last night and how it feels like there is this lingering PTSD, this sports fan PTSD here in Wisconsin, because we get so close to winning the titles. We get so close to the championships, and we can't, we get right up there to the doorway, and we just can't step through the threshold. And I felt like after Sunday's loss to the Heat, maybe that was revealing itself again, as there were some fans out there who were, stressed or frustrated. Now, to be fair, 60% of our respondents said that the loss was yada, yada, yada. I think recognizing that even though Giannis was out, the Bucs were the better team, the deeper team. They should be able to handle the Heat. But do you see this still? Do you see this idea of we can't have nice things here from this Wisconsin sports fan base?
Yeah, I think both of those things can be true, right? I think it's a valid freak out, pardon the pun, when Giannis leaves the game with an injury. I mean, I don't know. I saw him get upgraded from doubtful to questionable, and you thought, oh, okay, well, he's going to be fine. But then he doesn't play. I can understand why people were apprehensive, right? And I think back to, and it's interesting because, and I feel bad because I allow this stuff to bother me, kind of like the three of you taking me down off my Rott's Hots high. But there's people on social media.
Whoa! Don't drag me down with that. I am the number one Rott's Hots customer of all time.
In fairness to you, yeah, you just sat quietly. Meanwhile, the nincompoop was coming up with other ideas on why I was in a good mood. But think back to everything Rodgers has done, right, to bring this back to the Packers. And yet, what right now are most fans, at least the ones that are vocal on social media or call the show or whatever else, talking about? How much he failed, right? So I think that is kind of woven in now, even though the Bucs have a title 2 years ago, the Packers longer ago, obviously 12 years ago. But I do think that there is that mentality. I will just say this as a young person growing up in Milwaukee. I grew up with the Bucs always running into the Celtics or the Sixers in the Eastern Conference and never getting by them. And I grew up with the Brewers winning the 82 AL pennant and then losing Game 7 of the World Series. So I have that PTSD built in. And then the other one is all of the great players leave. That was another, Robin Yount was the only one that just stayed the whole time, right? And so I think both those things are in the psyches of some fans. I don't know if younger people feel that way, though. I'm not a young person, so I wouldn't know.
Jason, there are reports that the San Francisco 49ers are shopping Trey Lance, more specifically to the Minnesota Vikings. Do you think they're doing this to get into the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes?
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. I don't know the answer to your question, Chewy, but I would say this. This is another example of how hard it is get the quarterback position right. And I understand Trey Lance got hurt last year. I totally get it. And Brock Purdy came in as Mr. Irrelevant and played really well with a bunch of talent around him. But, think about what the 49ers gave up to go trade, or to what they gave up in a trade to be able to take Trey Lance, right? I mean, it wasn't Russell Wilson stuff, but it was a lot. And now between an injury and not really being impressed with him, they're looking to deal him. And I'm just fascinated by this whole other half or three-quarters of the league that has to go through this at the quarterback position. That team's chasing a championship, right? They couldn't win it with Jimmy G. They did Trey Lance. That didn't work. They before that, they meddled and tried to get Aaron Rodgers to come, right? And they were the ones that were tampering during his off-season of discontent. This is what happens when you don't have great quarterback play. You are desperate for all kinds of things, and you hope that Mr. Irrelevant turns out to be good enough. Then he gets hurt, and now you don't know what you're going to do there. Maybe you are going to chase Aaron Rodgers. You've chased him once before, somewhat illegally, and your head coach and the Packers head coach, who used to be best friends or close friends, wouldn't even look at each other when they were shaking hands after a game. So I don't know if A plus B equals C on that, but I think it does show you, and we'll see what Jordan Love turns out to be, but we just don't, myself included, we just don't have a full appreciation for when you don't have that guy, how you'll do anything to try and get that guy.
Jason, looking at, kind of going through draft preparations and safety being an area of need for the Packers, it's not a good safety draft. They don't have very many good safeties on the roster. Would they move Rasul Douglas to safety? Because they tried him in the slot. He seems better outside, and I would say that's true of Jair Alexander and Eric Stokes as well.
Yeah, great question. Matt LaFleur said he's not moving to safety. He said that at the NFL meetings in Phoenix. But there's a bunch of us, myself included, who think he might be a pretty darn good safety. Now, I don't know where Eric Stokes is in his comeback. He had both a knee and an ankle injury, and he was riding around in a wheelchair for a period when we were in the locker room, which you don't see very often. So I'm not sure how catastrophic that injury was, or if it was just that you can't scoot around on one of those things that you put your knee on, because he also hurt his knee. But they talked about Rasul Douglas staying outside and not playing the slot and giving Keyshawn Nixon, so he can have more value, since I know you didn't like that re-signing, the slot, basically giving him every opportunity to be the slot corner is what Matt LaFleur said. So, again, I'm eager to see how this shakes out. It is crazy because I've started, obviously, my draft series, and I finished my wide receiver story yesterday. You're talking about safety. Do you know how many wide receivers the Packers currently have on their roster?
I believe it's 6.
5. 5.
Man, now I'm wishing I had guessed. That's literally what I was going to say, and I was like, let Gabe. He'll have a good guess. It'll be right on target.
So who's the one other than so they drafted the 3 last year. Bo Melton, I believe, is the one that they signed to a futures deal. Who's the 5th one?
I don't remember his name.
Cotton.
Jeff Cotton.
Jeff Cotton. Yes, I think that's it.
Wait, no way. That's not actually right.
I think that is. How on earth did that just happen?
All right, let me explain myself, okay? Even
Yeah,
though I
you're gonna
could
have
just let
to.
this go and then
I'm so lost.
So I wanted to ask Jason, because Gabe was talking about safeties, and I couldn't remember the dude's name, and I'm like, what about Rudy Ford? Can't he move over? So then he started talking about receivers, and I'm like, I'll just look up. There's Jeff Cotton.
We need audio not of Chewy was right, but Chewy looked something up. Chewy looked something up.
Yeah, but
Jason,
more points if anybody can nail where Jeff Cotton is from or where he went to school.
Well, I can give you that.
Idaho.
That's correct.
Jason, usually Chewy just sits there with ESPN.com sitting on...
or WTMJ.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, but I had to help him get on Google last week. I don't know how he, functions or can actually look something up.
Just every day.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it's brought my mood right back up after you guys ruined it. So my point is, so you're talking about safety, and you're absolutely right. I'm talking about wide receiver. I mean, not only do they have only 5 wide receivers on the roster, none of them were on the roster going into last year's draft. I don't know about you, but that's crazy. 2 years ago, they had 9 wide receivers on the roster going into the draft. Last year, they had 8. Now they have 5, and 3 of them were rookies last year. The other 2 guys are first-year guys. So they were rookies once upon a time, never played, so they still don't have an accrued season of NFL experience. Tight end, they got Tausch's guy Smitty, Tyler Davis. They've got Josiah DeGuara, and then they got some other guys that I'm going to need Chewy to look up because I don't know their names either. So
Austin Allen and Nick Gregorius.
Yes, thank you very much. Now this guy knows his Packers.
Jen Gabe and Chewy researcher Mark Chimura.
My point is, there's a lot
over there.
There's a lot of that on the roster right now, or not on the roster, if you will. And so I understand people wanting to be excited about the Jordan Love era, but I'm trying to think of a time where I could sit here with you three, and we could talk about three different positions where they got next to nobody at them. And I understand Christian Watson had a great 4-game stretch. I understand that Matt LaFleur compared Romeo Dobbs' body movement to Devontae Adams. And those guys, I think, are both good players, but they're still going to be second-year guys, and they're going to have a bunch of ups and downs with a quarterback who has become a starter for the first time, full-time. This roster blows me away, and I don't hate Goody. We have a lot of history together. I still like him as a guy, but I feel like I'm one of the few people, Tausch really thinks highly of him, puts him in the top 3 of GMs. I think this roster is in pretty significant disrepair, and this draft, with 10 picks, but 4 of them in the 7th round, and 7 of the 10 on day 3, this is why you need to trade Aaron Rodgers and get another asset now, because you need to start filling these holes. You didn't do it in free agency. You can try to do it with some of the into the summer, nobody really wants them free agents. But, man, I mean, think about what we just talked about with 3 different positions. That is crazy to me.
Jason, we appreciate you hanging out with us today. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, sounds good, everybody. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde can, of course, be heard on Wilde and Tausch right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy here on 94.5 ESPN.
You've probably heard about employee stock ownership plans before, but what separates Fifth Third Bank from others when it comes to these plans? Fifth Third offers unmatched expertise and flexibility when creating ESOP solutions. From full and partial sales, second stage transactions, repurchase obligation financing, and seller note refinancing, ESOPs can offer tax advantages, increased liquidity, employee incentives, and overall diversification of net worth to help your company plan for the future. Fifth Third has that personal touch to help you navigate through all of these things. Just hanging out with the Fifth Third folks yesterday. They know what they're doing. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goal. Member FDIC.
All right, Bucs fans, this is your cue to call 800-990-3776. 800-990-3776. We are doing Bucs trivia right now. Bucs playoff merchandise on the line. Give us a call. After the break, we will take your calls, and we will see who is the big winner today of the Bucs playoff merchandise if you can answer some Bucs trivia correctly.
Full show podcasts, interviews, and special content is available right now at WisconsinOnDemand.com. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on 94.5 ESPN.
We are starting to see our usual backup on 94 eastbound. No major delays just yet, but you will be tapping on the brakes starting at the 76th Street Bridge and up to the Hawley off-ramp. And if you're up and out at 94 East from the Stadium Freeway, you'll also be hitting a little bit of stop and go as you go through the interchange. But once you're on 94, you are all clear. And just a little bit of stop and go on 43 southbound up at Silver Spring. Again, nothing crazy, just some taps on the brakes. Traffic is brought to you by the Milwaukee Bucks. Keep up with all the Bucks postseason action at bucks.com/playoffs. And here's a look at your storm team forecast. Today, showers and storms likely, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high of 65 degrees. Tonight, showers ending, mostly cloudy with a low of 41. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Finn Askin on 94.5 ESPN.
We believe the best things take time. You have your obsessions. Ours is crafting the best slow-smoked barbecue in the state. Crafted only from humanely raised meats, dry rubbed, slowly smoked, and sauced by you. Add Smoke Shack to the top of your list. the next time your hunger is trying to throw you off your game. Dine in, order takeout, or consider Smoke Shack to do the cooking for your next backyard barbecue celebration. Check us out in the historic 3rd Ward on Milwaukee Street or at smokeshack.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. We have the pads, rotors, drums, shoes, and brake fluids to improve your stopping power. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with a set of Duralast brake pads. Missing a tool? Ask about our free Loan-A-Tool program and borrow the tools you need to get the job done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2021. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save on the brands you trust. Right now, buy a select Bosch 12-volt bare tool starting at $99 and get a Bosch 12-volt battery starter kit free. Plus, as an MVPs member, earn up to 3 times the bonus points when you buy select products that you can then redeem for rewards. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See sales associate for details. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 4/28. Subject to change.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Hoop Collective Podcast.
I'm at our ESPN LA studios. You may remember that Bev did a couple of days of work for ESPN last year.
Oh, I remember. I was on with him.
He left a gorgeous Dolce & Gabbana suit here that is just spectacular.
You should wear it on TV today, Brian.
I do not believe it will fit me, only because the arms are too long. You're across the street. Come over and get it. It's got to be at least a $7,000 suit.
The Hoop Collective Podcast. Listen on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Is the electric chair still a thing?
Okay,
they
let me
still
read the
use
tweet.
I figured everything was lethal injection at this point.
Is this usually what happens when I answer a phone call or can't read a tweet? You guys just talk about
the death penalty. Yes,
it's his fault. He did it.
Doing this show is a death penalty.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Oh, make me over. I'm all I wanna be.
A huge, emphatic, demonstrative win by the Milwaukee Bucks last night, 138-122 over the Heat. They even the series at 1-1 and now are headed to Miami. Welcome to Miami for games 3 and 4. 5 as well? No, 3 and 4. Then back.
Yes.
So down there, I think it's Saturday, Monday. Is that the next?
Saturday, Monday, and then it's, So it's pretty much every other day once they start game 3.
So again, Bucks actually got a nice little break here, having so much time between games 1 and 2. And Giannis obviously didn't play, but obviously he can continue getting healthy. Bucks winning last night without him as Brook Lopez and Drew Holiday led the way. But a total team effort from that victory there. Let's get out to the phone lines. We are playing some Bucks trivia now. 800-990-3776. Ashton, who do we have today competing for some Bucks playoff merch?
We will start in Racine. Brandon and Racine, how's it going?
Pretty good.
All right, Brandon, here is your question. What former Buck who has his number retired also had, in my opinion, the best cameo in the movie White Men Can't Jump?
Let's go with...
Have you seen the movie White Men Can't
Robinson?
Jump? I
have seen the movie.
It's Marcus Johnson.
Raymond.
Is that you?
Threatens to get his gun, shoot everybody. A little crazy. It's a tremendous cameo.
Real quickly, why are they remaking it?
I
don't want.
Did they already remake it? I've really tried to put my head in the sand with that whole thing.
Who's in it? Who are the actors?
I have no idea.
I don't want to know.
Like I said, I've buried my head in the sand because you shouldn't be remaking this movie. It was perfect the way it was.
Let's go to Tony in Germantown. Tony, how you feeling about the Bucks trivia?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Your question.
Hey, I want to know if you knew the last one. Marcus Johnson.
I did not know the last one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What a great question.
A little bit of an underground trivia.
Where did the Bucks play their home games when they were first founded until the late 80s?
The Mecca.
That would be correct. Of course, now the UWM Panther Arena, still very close to where they currently play in Fiserv Forum. So he is the winner. He wins that Bucks playoff merch, and you can keep up with all the Bucks postseason action. Bucks.com/playoffs. Find official contest rules at ESPN Wisconsin contests.com.
Now, one of the things I know that people have been tittering about, I guess twittering about. Yeah, stop. Get out of here. No.
What?
No.
What?
No.
You're the one who said it.
Tittering is a word.
Yeah, I know it's a word.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah, Jason got some last night.
Obviously, just
I don't
take it straight.
understand.
It's not even on this segment.
I don't know why it's okay for you to say things that you're not supposed to. When I want to make a dirty joke, I get the side eye from Jen.
When it comes to who they think is the better coach in this series, a lot of people will defer to Eric Spoelstra, who has a long history of being a very good coach in this league, who has led the Heat to a lot of success. Worried at all about any sort of adjustment that Eric Spoelstra can make. I think the bench is so short. They're so lacking talent from a comparative standpoint to the Milwaukee Bucks. Is there any concern that Spoelstra will make an adjustment? They'll have another hot shooting night from three, and all of a sudden the Bucks are down again in this series?
I mean, I think it's just more of an effort thing for the Bucks in terms of defending the three-point looks and making sure they get a hand up and making sure those three-point looks are contested. But unless he can get like Max Strus on some sort of stretching machine and get a couple of inches out of him, the Bucks just have a size advantage. Whether it's Brooke, whether it's Bobby. And the reason why the Bucks were able to take advantage so early last night is because Bam Adebayo, really the only player with significant size in the Heat, was guarding Bobby Portis. So now you're throwing somebody who's like 6'6", 6'7" on Brooke Lopez, who's 7'1" and built like a brick you-know-what? Like, it was easy. Just lob it up to him. He didn't even have to jump half the time. Grab it in the hand, slam it down, lay it in, do all the things that Brooke did around the rim last night.
A brick you-know-what? What, a brick house?
No, we're good. Yeah, we don't have to.
Yeah, a brick
house.
Chewy,
Sugar house.
Don't say it, but do you know what Gabe means when he says that?
Yeah, shit.
Okay, you're the one. Do I blame myself?
That's your fault.
I asked him not to say it.
100%.
I asked him not to say it.
Yeah, but he was
100%
going
your
to
fault.
ignore that. How is he going to tell you that he knew it without saying it? Just affirmative?
Simple yes would suffice there.
But you know better at this point. You know better.
I don't know anything.
You're the executive in this situation. Shouldn't you know the people that you manage?
Yeah, that is a good point. You are the exact. You can't bait me, Ashy. You bait me, you're going to get the hook.
We talk about this all the time with Brian Gutekunst and Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yep.
You know who you're dealing with. You're asking him to do these things. You know
Is
he's
Chewy
incapable.
Goody or Rodgers?
You're Goody. He's Rodgers.
He's just a funny version of
Are
Rodgers.
those both insults these days?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it could be.
Nice. Way to go, buddy.
All right.
Hey, guys, it is time to get pumped up because Potawatomi Casino Hotel is bringing 24/7 sports betting to the great city of Milwaukee with the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And if you happen to be around this Saturday, I will be out at the Potawatomi Sportsbook from 5 until 7 Saturday evening. We'll get a little Bucks action. We'll get a little Brewers action. Don't look at me. I know what you're doing. You're saying, don't you dare place any bets. You like that I'm not close to the Potawatomi Sportsbook, so I can't place any bets. You're concerned about me being there and actually putting some money down on a team that you want to do
Correct. Awesome that you're going to be there. Going to be an awesome event. Looking forward to it. I'm a little concerned you're going to be tempted to, throw a couple shekels down on the Bucks before the game.
I promise I will not do that. I hand to
Thank
God
you.
will not put any money on the Bucks. Enjoy the convenience of self-service kiosks, odds, boards, wall-to-wall TVs, free parking, great food, and a full-service bar. Come out, hang out with me 5 to 7 p.m. at Potawatomi Sportsbook. This Saturday, we'll watch the Bucks, we'll watch the Brewers. You can place some bets on whatever you like if you want me to advise you. Gabe insists you take the opposite of whatever I advise, but still, that's advice, guys. Put your game face on. It is time to bet big, bet bold at Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, please stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Tony Smith. The professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, and back. The precision treatments are done in the office with no drugs and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery and discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine. Especially this time of year, you need to be living life to the fullest and doing the stuff you love to do. If you can get relief and avoid going under the knife, doesn't it make sense to check it out? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Don't wait. 414-285-3474.
Hey, this is Bo stepping in for Ridgetop Larry. Ridgetop Exteriors is Wisconsin's #1 choice for roofing, siding, windows, and doors. We are the trusted local experts who live and work in the areas we serve, which means we're helping friends and neighbors too. On top of that, Ridgetop Exteriors offers the most affordable payment options, including no interest and low interest financing. For your free estimate, visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-283-5948. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-283-5948 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-283-5948 to see if you qualify. That's 800-283-5948.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Hey, everyone who I let try borscht likes it. They don't love it, but it's a liver.
What an endorsement!
This is your
but
pitch.
hold on.
There's your airline, guys. Good luck. I don't even have to talk anymore.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on ESPN Wisconsin, ESPN Milwaukee. Is Wisconsin sports fan PTSD a thing? We're putting it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll because it does feel like sometimes there is something that ends up fueling this idea that when things even go a little bit sideways, that's it, it's over, go home, can't win, can't have nice things here in the state of Wisconsin if you are a sports fan. And I wonder if this Bucks team will be the team to further get people away from that being a default setting. So, guys, I want to tell you the story because obviously, you know, we were at Disney World last week. We were hanging out with the fam. After one of the days at the park, we're winding down in our hotel room, and we happen to be watching Jurassic World. You guys all seen Jurassic World?
It's a great movie.
I know Ashton has. He's the dinosaur guy
Fantastic.
on the show. Chew, have you seen Jurassic World?
No.
Have you seen Jurassic Park?
Yes, I've
Okay,
seen that.
they're all pretty much
Long
the same,
time
just
ago.
like evolving, just evolving from a technology standpoint and things like that. So we are watching Jurassic World, and there is this scene where the flying dinosaurs, they used to be called pterodactyls. Are they now pteranodons? Is that a thing, Ashy?
I believe those are two different things.
Two different flying
I'm almost positive,
dinosaurs.
yeah. But pterodactyls in the movie.
So they're flying over the amusement park and they're snatching up people, right?
Yeah,
like
it's awesome.
snatching up.
Great scene.
And at one point they snatch up the nanny of the two kids who are running from the dinosaurs in the movie, and they drop her over the water, and then the birds are in the water and they're diving and all this stuff. And so I'm seeing this unfold, and I shout over to Dario, who's sitting on one of the two beds in our hotel room, and I'm like, hey, cover the baby's eyes, right? Kira's 3 years old. My daughter, she's 3. I said, cover her eyes. Like, this is gruesome. This is traumatic, right? So he leans over and he covers her eyes, and we're watching the scene, and it's unfolding, and the scene ends, and he lifts her hands off, and Layla, our 5-year-old, who is sitting on the bed next to me, is now like staring at the television, and she goes, I saw the whole thing. Dario goes, where were you on that one? You know, so I was like, oopsies. The reason I bring this up is because we knew in that scene from Jurassic Park that it was going to be somewhat traumatic for our girls to watch, even if I, fumbled the bag as the parent there in that situation. But we've been watching the Bucks games as a family. Is anyone else bothered by these previews for this movie about the mom who's a ghost?
Evil Dead Rising?
Evil Dead Rising.
I've seen so many of them.
And every single one is horrific.
Kind of want to see the movie now.
But my kids were watching the Bucks game thinking, oh, it's a lovely family evening. We're all watching the basketball game. And I'm better now because I actually have had to shield my kids' faces from these terrible trailers. Am I overreacting, Gabe? Or have you also noticed just the gruesomeness of these ads for this movie that is apparently backed by the NBA?
Seems to be, certainly taking their money. It seems to be maybe a little more blood than your average horror movie. I guess it hasn't registered with me. I guess I see the ad. I know the movie you're talking about, obviously, but maybe because I don't have kids, it just didn't register like, oh, okay. It's just to me, it's just like another ad for another movie I'm not going to see.
I mean, people get super annoyed, Chew, with like the Whopper.
Yeah, because that's annoying as you know what. Like that gets stuck in your head, and now you're going to be walking down the street like a crazy person going, have it your way, be
Are you into horror movies or no? They're kind of like comedies. They're not at all? Because you're scared or they suck?
They don't.
Now you know the answer.
Yeah,
they don't do it for you because you're terrified.
Yeah, well, nightmares and such.
Oh.
My wife really likes horror movies, so I actually wouldn't be surprised if somehow I end up seeing this movie now that I've declared I'm not going to see it. But my wife really likes the horror genre.
I find, Jen, you maybe can back me up or tell me I'm an idiot, which I am. I find more women like horror movies than men, that at least I know and talk to.
Really?
They prefer it,
Like thrillers? I don't mind a thriller.
Yeah, thrillers, horror movies,
like
suspense.
Gone Girl, wasn't that like
That's
a
a
thing?
thriller.
Like, those are thrillers.
That's like a
There's
real
a little bit
movie.
of like a mystery involved and like a whodunit type of thing. I don't need the gore. Like there's something about this movie that really gets under my skin. I don't know if it's the mom element of it, because like these kids are like looking for their mommy and she ends up being some like possessed,
demon.
demonic figure. And so like, I don't know if that's what's bothering me about it. But again, I've become acutely aware of it because we've been watching the NBA. We've been watching, these are like family programs, right? I shouldn't have to worry about the commercials in between the Bucks game and having to shield my children's eyes from it. There should be some level of like, you can't have a rated R trailer during family entertainment. Unless the NBA doesn't consider itself family entertainment.
I mean, a lot of those hot mics are going to pick up words you probably don't want your kids repeating.
Oh, on the Bucks games or
Yes.
on the NBA games? I thought you were talking about the trailer. I was like, no, I didn't hear any curse words.
No,
Plus,
no.
it's nothing that you won't hear on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy from 7 to 9 on
Well, if you happen to be
94.5
streaming.
ESPN Milwaukee. So you think I'm overreacting to this? It really got under my skin. Like, I got really angry last night again when we're sitting around trying to enjoy a Bucks victory over the Heat, and you've got this, Mommy, where are you? I'm right here. Like,
Get in my belly.
It's not an
Do
Austin
you watch
Powers
commercials,
movie.
though? I do not watch commercials. I got
barely
pre-channel.
watch the game.
That's true, but as soon as there's a commercial, I'm on to the next thing. You guys aren't like
So
that?
what were you flipping between last night? What were you watching in conjunction with the first quarter of the Bucks game?
Too big
that
of
you
a word.
watched?
Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, yeah, how far are we?
I think 7.
Oh, okay, I'm a bit ahead of you.
It's okay.
Wait, so
You guys
you
seen
would
it?
I like
you
it.
would flip over to something you haven't seen before, a series you are watching, and just watch it in like 3-minute increments before you would flip back to the Bucks game?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's psychopath behavior. I don't know if I can trust you
Why?
anymore.
Oh.
That type of behavior is scarier to me than the mom in the Evil Dead Rising trailer. That is terrifying behavior from you.
Well, what do you do when a commercial's on?
Well, maybe
You sit through it.
Yeah, either A, sit through it, or B, flip, like, maybe there's a movie on cable that you're, okay, I've
that's
seen this
dangerous
just to
game.
right.
Dangerous game. Sometimes it's a movie you got to stick to.
Yeah, but it's
I
you're
think
flipping to
most
something. You're
people-
not flipping over to something that you haven't
Nah,
seen before that could grab your attention away from the game.
I think more people are like me that they flip away from the commercials.
Yes.
And go to
No,
something else
I
and
don't
then
think
they
so.
come back.
I don't think so. I think more
Put it on a
people
poll.
grab their
Put it on the
phones
poll.
as soon as a game goes to commercial, scroll through Twitter,
All right.
check their email, see, you know what I mean? See what the
Yeah.
reaction is to the game. I think that's where most people are.
But if you do flip, you're not going to flip over to something that you want to be genuinely invested in and watching as well. Like, I'm not going to flip over to a movie I haven't seen before and watch it in 3-minute increments.
Chew is basically that meme of the guy walking down the street with the girl, and he's got his head turned around looking behind at the other girl. The girl he's holding hands with is the Bucks kid. But if something
Boardwalk Empire.
prettier comes along, by all means, he's turning around. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on right after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Those delays on 94 eastbound are starting to expand now with some taps on the brakes now starting all the way back at the Zoo interchange and running to the Hawley Road off-ramp with a 4-minute delay running from the Zoo to the Stadium interchange. We are also still looking at some delays on 43 southbound now starting at Good Hope and running down past Hampton and about a 3-minute delay there. And we're also still seeing a little bit of backup on 4394 northbound with some slowdown moving from Layton up to the Howard Street off-ramp with just a 1-minute delay there. Traffic is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC. Time for a look at your storm team forecast. Today, showers and storms likely, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high of 65 degrees. Tonight, showers ending, mostly cloudy with a low of 41. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Finn Askin on 94.5 ESPN.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, sponsored by Ridgetop Exteriors on 94.5 ESPN. No one else does it like Scalzo and Brust.
You are a Hall of Fame at mocking others. I didn't think there was a third way you could go, and you just did it. In honor of Scalzo, no one rips other people better. There's no limit. I'll bet he could come up with number 4 if we gave him 5 minutes. 5 minutes? If you give him 30 seconds. Thank you, Homer.
Weekdays 4 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN. It's Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
Hunger Task Force has had copier printers from James Imaging Systems in multiple Wisconsin locations for over 10 years. Associate Director Matt King, why James Imaging Systems?
We trust James Imaging because they're a local business that understands the local community and the needs that we have here.
Has that had a positive impact?
Absolutely. James Imaging staff have made the copying and document imaging within the office really easy and efficient so that we can focus on our mission.
Matt, any advice to other local businesses that would like to make their document imaging processes faster, easier, and more efficient?
Yeah, I would tell them to call James Imaging because they provide great service and they provide customer-oriented solutions.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned company with a 100% commitment to the success of your business. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
Hey, Greg Scalzo here. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
But I like the beer head, right?
It's
Although if
terrible.
the beer has head, you have to wait, you stick your finger in a little slime from your nose and whatnot. But I like. Why is he leaving again?
Well, because
Cliff, explanation, please.
Now, how do you know he has one?
$5 says he does, 10 says it's a doozy. When the British ruled the Punjab, $10 all the way. So they drank steaming hot pots of tea on the hottest days of the year to balance out their inside and outside temperatures. See, conversely, drinking an ice cold drink on a cold day actually results in a more comfortable body temperature.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Stuff the thing and get it, like, hard. It's just...
Just so you know, Ashton almost made it back into the production office. Then you said that, and he walked back out.
But it's too limp. It's limp. It's Limp Biscuit.
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Clavin, what else you gonna do with it?
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
She wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited.
If there's one thing we know about Wisconsin people and I suppose Midwest people in general, when you talk about reputation-wise across the country, it is that we are very nice. Most of us are very nice. And Ryan Hoban, our guest here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning, is one of those very nice people who was walking a dangerous line, who was playing a dangerous game earlier this week, I suppose it was last week, when he offered up a coffee grinder to none other than Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat. So we welcome Ryan Hoban, who owns Interval Coffee Shop on Jackson and Pleasant, here into Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Good morning, Ryan. How you doing today?
Morning, gang. I'm doing okay. I'm glad we won last night.
Oh, I'm sure you are glad we won. So for folks who are unaware of your story, it was featured on The Athletic, which, of course, you can subscribe to. I highly recommend the content there for the NBA and, of course, the Bucks. The story is that you gave a coffee grinder to Jimmy Butler, who is apparently a huge coffee drinker, coffee aficionado. He's in Milwaukee. He needs his fix, and you were quick to supply it for him, huh?
Yeah, it was kind of a funny story. I was on the golf course because it was beautiful last week, and I got hit up by another local coffee shop owner, and he just wrote me a text, and it just said, "Hey, do you have an extra espresso grinder laying around?" And I thought it was for him, so I was like, "Oh, is it for your shop?" And he's like, "No, it's for Jimmy Butler." And I was like, "Oh, I definitely have one laying around for Jimmy Butler." I think I told him at the beginning of the conversation I didn't have one laying around, and then magically I found one for Jimmy. So then I got in contact with Jimmy's team. He from the bubble has started this coffee company called Big Face Coffee. So everyone in specialty coffee has kind of been watching what Jimmy's up to, and he takes it pretty serious, and it's gotten more and more serious. And so it was cool to connect with his team, his coffee guys, and then they gave me an address up in Mequon to kind of like drop it off at, and I thought it was just going to be the coffee guys like flop house for the playoffs or something, where they're just hanging, and maybe Jimmy would like grab a coffee from them or something. I didn't know exactly what I was walking into, and then I rolled up, and there's like a white Range Rover, a black SUV with like a security guard, and I was like, oh, this is a little different than I thought I was getting into. And then, hand off the grinder. We're talking coffee, and then Jimmy walks around the corner in this house and introduced himself. We talked a little bit about coffee. He's very nice, very kind, seemed really like grounded as a person. And so we talked a little shop about coffee, talked some basketball. I told him, hey man, take it easy on my team, and the rest is history. Game one was not great for us. So that's kind of it. And
so Ryan, if this was a Heat player without a Milwaukee connection, say Bam Adebayo, would you have given him the grinder?
Screw Bam. That's what I would have done. Screw that guy. Yeah, no, I think I definitely, when the article came out yesterday, I didn't think there'd be as much flack headed my way than I had gotten, because Jimmy's got these Milwaukee roots. We got the Marquette connection and all that, and it's Jimmy Buckets. I mean, playoff Jimmy's going to beat playoff Jimmy, whether he's got espresso or not, probably. But,
Well, there's only one way to find out, Ryan.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably. Likely.
Yeah.
It's likely.
Like I said, I'm just glad last night went the way that it went, because it could have gone. If we went down 0-2, I think Interval's closing the door.
Would you have taken your grinder back? Like, would you? I mean, you probably got it back anyway because they're headed back down.
I picked it up yesterday afternoon because they're headed back to Miami. So like right before the game, I picked it up. I got to hang out and talk with his dad. I brought my son, hoping that we'd see Jimmy, but knowing probably it wasn't going to happen. And my son, of course, is wearing his Bucks hoodie in front of the family. But his family was really nice. We picked up the grinder, so no more espresso for Jimmy. He's on his own. He's got to figure his game out, you know.
Well, until they get back into town.
He would have been the Steve Bartman of Milwaukee.
Yeah,
was
for
it?
sure.
Wow.
Those
are
thought definitely
fighting
went in my
words.
head. Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't know Giannis was going to get contusion. I mean, there's some factors here, guys, that went into game one, not just the espresso.
Yeah, you mean other than you supplying Jimmy Butler with his sweet, sweet elixir.
Seems-
Sure.
Seems like
Jen,
you've been
go
practicing.
easy on me. Easy.
Seems like you've been
Easy.
practicing these excuses, Ryan. Are your kids at least talking to you again after the Bucks won last night?
Yeah. They're back talking to me. I was fortunate enough to be at the game. They were at home watching. But, the boys are happy. I just woke them up a little bit ago before school and said, hey, Bucks won. No, there's no angry threats coming our way as a family. We're in a good spot again with the city of Milwaukee.
Ryan Hoban joining Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning. He is the owner of Interval Coffee Shop, and according to this athletic article that we are telling you should absolutely read, supplied Jimmy Butler with a coffee grinder so that he could have his coffee fix when he was in Milwaukee for games 1 and 2 of this series between them and the Bucks. Of course, we all know how game 1 went and why Ryan was public enemy number 1 for many Bucks fans after Jimmy had such an incredible performance and the Heat walked away from game 1 with the victory. You obviously are a Bucks fan. We were talking about just the depth of this squad and their ability to withstand the absence of Giannis. How are you feeling from a Wisconsin sports fan PTSD standpoint? Because we believe that drives a lot of this idea of we can't have nice things when they lose a game. People are very upset and thinking that it's obviously a sign that we're not going to get it done. Where are you when it comes to the Wisconsin sports fan PTSD?
I mean, obviously we got all this stuff going on with the Packers, and so I think the Bucks team is just like, they're such a humble and such a good group of guys. It feels like, they're a little bit older. It doesn't seem like there's a ton of ego on our team, and so like definitely watching the Bucks or even watching Council manage the Brewers, I feel like Wisconsin sports just needs to be no ego, and so I think we're all kind of ready to move on as Packer fans, for a little bit less ego. And I think the Bucks and the Brewers and our other sports teams kind of exemplify a lot of what Wisconsin and Milwaukee kind of want to be about. We had our run, and I think what's also great. What I was thinking about this too is like it's kind of great to see in this modern day of sports, like these players kind of be more than. You get to see a better glimpse of who they are as people. With Jimmy, it's coffee. With Aaron, it's all whatever he's about, and you're getting to see the personalities a little bit more these days. And so I think that is fun, but I think, like, as a Wisconsin sports fan, I think we do love these athletes like Giannis. They're just humble and just about winning and just about playing this game that they love. And, I think you see that with a guy like Jimmy Butler too a little bit. Like that guy just wants to win and compete.
So I, for one, Gabe, am shocked that the coffee guy appreciates players who are grounded. Come on!
Come
Give it
on!
to her,
You
guys.
did not deserve the rim shot for that.
We have a
That
guest.
was
That's a
terrible.
Chewy joke.
We have a guest.
That
I
is
have
a
to be nice.
Chewy joke.
No.
He's stealing my stuff.
I know, man.
Yeah, but hold on, Ryan. They're getting rid of a grind in Green Bay.
Oh, here we go!
There it
Ryan,
is.
this is what I have
There
to
it
put
is.
up with every single day. These terrible jokes.
Yeah, your job's tough.
Oh, man.
Wow,
Okay.
that was dripping
So-
with sarcasm. Just so
Oh my
you know.
God! Coffee drip.
So let's say
Oh,
Aaron
nice.
Rodgers happens to stumble across this article. He's going to be coming to town because he's a Bucks co-owner. Let's say he wants to go
Yep.
and be in Milwaukee for part of this playoff run. His people read this article. Now he wants a coffee. He needs the grinder. Are you going to lend the coffee grind to Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the clout. I figure
Fair. That's
whoever
very
needs
fair.
an espresso grinder from here on out, and it gets me 10 minutes with you guys, I'm all about it. So whoever needs it, I'm here for it. I mean, that's the great thing about coffee. Like, I think what I really think I said in that article coffee is like kind of the great equalizer. You know, a lot of people drink coffee on their daily. It's a part of their routine. That's kind of what Jimmy was looking for, right? Just some normalcy while he was on the road for such a long stretch. And I think coffee gets to do that. And I think that's what's something really cool about and really special about what we do every day is just kind of preparing coffee. It doesn't matter who it is. It's kind of part of their routine, unless you're Jen. Jen, you're not a coffee drinker, is that right? Is that what I remember?
That's true. I don't drink coffee. Wow. Now there's so much judgment. I can hear the judgment.
Right? We could give her coffee, but it's like feeding a gremlin after midnight. I have no idea what would happen.
That's very true. That's true.
Fair.
Ryan Hoban from Interval Coffee Shop joining us here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I will say this. Even if the Bucks had ended up losing the game and they're down 0-2, headed down to Miami, Ryan, that's what the money's for, right? Like you're all of a sudden the public enemy number one, but it did kind of work out a little bit, right? Because Jimmy knows about your coffee. We're talking about your coffee. There's a little bit of an exchange there. Like, I get it. I understand that. I love the hustle.
Thank you. Yeah, it is about the hustle a little bit. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do, and yeah, I think it's also about. I think what's also great about these like Midwest towns like Milwaukee is. You know, we're hospitable. So, like, showing an outsider or kind of outsider like Jimmy that kind of hospitality isn't a bad thing. You know, we want to make people feel welcomed here in Milwaukee, and I think, you know, offering a grinder isn't a big, you know, it's not that hard. So, yeah, I think that was part of it too. Is just like showing Jimmy some hospitality, some good Midwest hospitality while he was in town.
Ryan, I just got to know, what golf course were you on when you were taking these texts?
I was just on a local course, so I was out at Dretska.
Okay.
County course.
All right.
Yeah.
I love Dretska.
Tricky. Nothing too tricky. Yeah, it's a good little course.
Ryan, we really appreciate you hanging out with us this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Ryan Hoban, Interval Coffee Shop. You can visit him on the corner of Jackson and Pleasant. Good guy. We appreciate you, and Bucks and 6.
Bucks and 6, baby. All right, thanks, guys.
Again, Interval Coffee Shop, Jackson and Pleasant. Ryan Hoban, who supplied Jimmy Butler with a grinder while he was here in town for games 1 and 2. Do you think if he's going to give the grinder again? I mean, it's worked out so well thus far.
I mean, so I guess it depends upon how long Miami's going to be here, because after these next 2 games, it goes 1-1-1.
Sure.
So I don't know if Miami's going to be here long enough where Jimmy's going to need to make his own espresso.
Is this a whole thing that I don't understand? You have to grind the beans right then and there, and then you can't grind them ahead.
Want fresh
if you
good.
want the best tasting, yeah.
Okay, so he couldn't grind in Miami, and then bring the grinded beans. I'm way out of my depth here on the grind and the grinding.
Yeah, stick to the terrible.
But
jokes.
I was very good at grinding back in college. You should know. Anyway, so
see,
you need
again,
to grind.
she gets to make those jokes, and I get the side eye when she says.
I wouldn't say gets to, just does. I cannot stop her.
The point I'm trying to make is you have to grind the beans when you enjoy the coffee. You can't do it ahead of time and then expect it to be the same level of coffee. Is that
Correct.
what you guys are telling me?
Yes, if you want the freshest, best coffee, it's best to ground the beans right then and there. Now you can, because obviously when you go to the store, you buy whatever beans they're going to be already ground, or you grind them right there in the store. But if you want the best, like, you know, your Jimmy Butler level, and you're like, yeah, I want to be able to do this every single day, then that's what you got to do. You got to grind it right before you make it.
Well, this is good. This is all good information for me, Gabe.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I appreciate. I thirst for knowledge. I appreciate knowledge. When we were talking about grinding, I wanted to make a chance.
Hit the rim shot.
I wanted to
for
make
knowledge.
No, that one wasn't on purpose. I was trying to make a Chance the Rapper joke when we were talking about grinding, though, but couldn't fit it
Who
in.
in our audience would have gotten that joke?
Did you get it?
Yeah, but
there it is.
I'm the youngest person that listens to this show.
That's very fair. Ridgetop Exteriors provides the best quality roof siding, windows, and doors, expertly installed and at an affordable price. Really, that's all you should know about Ridgetop Exteriors. Best quality roof siding, windows, doors, expertly installed at an affordable price. When you've decided you need to invest back into your home and do an exterior project, Ridgetop the place to go, because they have the best quality roof siding, windows, doors, expertly installed at an affordable price. But that's not all, because Ridgetop does all those things, and they're great at them. But they consider customer service their number one goal, and they strive to exceed the expectations of the homeowners they serve. So not only do Ridgetop Exteriors provide the best quality roof siding, windows, doors, expertly installed at an affordable price, but customer service is their number one goal. Imagine that, a company in 2023 that cares that much about customer service. Plus, they have no interest and low interest financing available. All these great things could be yours. Get that free estimate. Just log on to their website, ridgetopexteriors.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Those delays on 94 eastbound are really stretching from the Zoo interchange and up to the stadium with a 9-minute delay there. We're also still looking at some delays on 43 southbound, now starting at Good Hope and running down past Hampton, about a 4-minute delay there. And we're also still seeing a little bit of backup on 4394 northbound with some slowdown moving up from Layton up to the Howard Street off-ramp, a 4-minute delay there as well. And heading northbound on 894 from the Hale interchange up to the Zoo interchange, you're looking at a 3-minute delay. Traffic is brought to you by the Club at Lac La Belle, the birthplace of golf in Wisconsin. Go to the club at laclabelle.com to start your journey. And here's a look at your Storm Team forecast. Today, showers and storms likely, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high of 65 degrees. And tonight, showers ending mostly cloudy with a low of 41. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Finn Askin on 94.5 ESPN.
The first ESPN Milwaukee Cares is here. Gabe Neitzel is teaming up with the MAC Fund to raise funds and awareness for pediatric cancer research. Here's Gabe Neitzel to tell us more.
1 week from today, myself and a handful of others will be playing 100 holes of golf to support the MAC Fund in their annual Ringer event. This is their 6th annual Ringer event here in Milwaukee, and the Ringer has a special name, and it's multifaceted, according to their Director of Development, Michael Belowski.
Ringer, it does. It has a few different layers of meaning to it. Certainly that bell ringing day, right? That's the day that we want every single child to get to signify that they will ring that bell physically in all these cancer institutes across the country and show that they've won their fight. But I guess you think about it too, these kids are kind of put through the ringer, right? With everything that they go through.
To learn more and to donate, text CARES to 800-990-3776.
Explore Milwaukee's iconic Harley-Davidson Museum this spring. The Harley-Davidson Museum campus boasts one-of-a-kind shopping with exclusive Harley gear from 2 new retail stores, an interactive experience gallery, and the Motor Bar and Restaurant. Riverfront dining with daily specials like fish fries and barbecue. And make it a point to ride over on May 4th for Bike Night, where you can stock up with up to 70% off on deals from their factory shop. The Harley-Davidson Museum, 15 years as one of Milwaukee's top tourist destinations.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, please stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Tony Smith. The professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, and back. The precision treatments are done in the office with no drugs and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery and discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine. Especially this time of year, you need to be living life to the fullest and doing the stuff you love to do. If you can get relief and avoid going under the knife, doesn't it make sense to check it out? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Don't wait. 414-285-3474.
A big storm brewing? Don't miss it. It's Thursday Thunder this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. You could win a share of $400,000 in cash and prizes. Just play with your club card April 1st through the 27th, and you could be one of 50 winners each Thursday. Showers might bring flowers, but thunder brings the boom. Only at Potawatomi. More info at paysbig.com/thunder. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
The top 8 at 8.
Name something that follows the word pork. You pine. Huh?
One category.
Name something people take with them to the beach. Turkey.
The top 8 answers.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8.
A food often stuffed. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Name Popeye's favorite food.
Chicken! Oh my God!
Show me chicken!
Sponsored by Milwaukee Pretzel Company. Win a Bavarian Soft Pretzel Lovers gift pack from the Milwaukee Pretzel Company. Shop now at MilwaukeePretzel.com.
Gabe, all right, Gabe. What is our top 8 at 8 topic today?
So I've got the list of 8 things in front of me. You and Chew will guess back and forth. Once you both get one incorrect, we'll open up to the fans at 800-990-3776. Whoever gets the last one on the list, that means they win that great prize pack, courtesy of our friends at Milwaukee Pretzel Company. So after the Bucks made 25 three-pointers last night, I thought, let's do a little three-point category surrounding the Bucks. So I'm looking for the most three-pointers made in a career in the postseason for the Bucks. So most threes made in postseason games in their career for the Milwaukee Bucks.
And this is tricky because you got to have been in the postseason. Right?
Correct. That's kind of a key in order to making a three in the postseason. You got to be there.
Yep.
You should go first.
Let's go Ray Allen.
Ray Allen, number 3 on the list with 76 made three-pointers.
How about Pat Connaughton?
Pat Connaughton somehow is number 2 on this list with 91
what do you mean
made.
somehow?
Come on.
Like, I did not expect you. Like, again,
Wow.
there's number 1 who is just lapping the field, and you decide to panic and say Pat Connaughton instead of who number 1 on the list is.
How is he number 2? Wow.
The Bucks have played a lot of playoff games.
That's true.
Chris Middleton
Is number
Chris
1 lapping the field with
Middleton.
176 made three-pointers in his Bucks playoff career. So we have the top 3.
I don't
Chris
think
is
of
1.
Chris Middleton as a three-point shooter. I don't know why. It's not the first thing that comes to mind when I think. Why are you giving me the dog tipping their head face?
Yeah, you know, when I think of Aaron Rodgers, I don't think of passing yards.
I don't really think of touchdowns. I don't know. I'm just telling you.
The dude's lapping the field in three-pointers made in a career for the Bucks. He's number 1.
Well,
it's not even close.
I will certainly think of him that way.
Unbelievable.
But to be honest with you, I think that actually does play into what you always talk about, Gabe, which is that people underestimate Chris
underrated.
Middleton.
So underrated. Criminally underrated, even by his own fan base. So again, the top 3 we have, Chris Middleton is 1, Pat Connaughton is 2, Ray Allen is 3. So it's on you, Jen. Yeah, Ray Allen 3 with 76 made threes.
Bobby Portis
is number 9.
Oh, so close.
With 35 made threes. Judy, got another guess?
Let me ask you this. How long has the three-point line been around? 80s? 70s?
Almost 50 years.
A while?
70s, yeah.
All right, with that being said, let's go old school and go Sidney Moncrief.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
All right, let's not go Sidney
That
Moncrief.
counts as a guess.
Let's go with Big Dog.
Yeah, Glenn Robinson also incorrect. 30 made threes for Big Dog.
Okay.
All right, let's open up to the fans. 800-990-3776. You guys have knocked out the top 3. We're looking for most three-pointers made playoff career for the Bucks. Chris Middleton 1 with 176. Pat Connaughton 2 with 91. Ray Allen 3 with 76.
First up, we've got Eric and Madison. Eric, what do you got for our list?
How about Michael Redd?
So the problem with Michael Redd is the Bucks were bad, and they didn't really make the playoffs a bunch when Mike was here. Redd with 16 made three-pointers in his playoff career. That is number... he's tied with Chewy's guy, Sidney Moncrief, with 16 at 26.
All right, Dumpy in West Bend, can you do any better?
Brandon Jennings?
Yeah, Brandon Jennings not playing a ton of playoff games. Brandon Jennings. I mean, he's not in the top 8, and I'm not finding him here. Really struggling to find. Oh, Brandon Jennings, there he is. 18 career made threes in the postseason. He's 25.
800-990-3776 if you want to get in on this top 8 at 8. It is the most three-pointers career in the playoffs by a Milwaukee Buck. Ashton?
We've got Mike and Franklin. Mike, what do you got for the list?
Drew Holiday.
Number 4, Drew Holiday, 74 made threes.
Am I supposed to continue? Or?
Yeah, keep going. You keep going until you get one incorrect.
All right.
Make
okay,
it take
okay,
it here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Okay. Geez. No.
3 seconds.
Wow. That's Jack Sigma.
Jack Sigma is not correct.
I thought you said Jack Nicholas.
So awesome.
What are you loving? The choke?
Jack Sigma.
Oh.
Wasn't he an inside dude?
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
He had great hair, though. Great hair.
Whereas, yeah. See if we can find Sigma on this list.
800-990-3776. Ashton?
John in Tosa, you got anything other than Jack Sigma for us?
How about Brian Winters?
Brian Winters. Again, Brian Winters made 19. That's 23rd on the list. So again, we've got the top four: Chris, Pat, Ray, and Drew.
800-990-3776. Give the numbers again, though. You said...
So 176 for Chris Middleton, 91 for Pat Connaughton, 76 for Ray Allen, 74 for Drew Holiday.
And when I guessed 9...
Bobby Portis had 35.
35. So there's your range, folks. 800-990-3776. Ashton is collecting calls.
I got one.
Do you think you do?
Oh, he thinks he does.
Yes. Oh, I know I do.
Can you? Okay, let me make sure I've got my video up here so I can
see his face.
Yeah.
Tell
Okay.
if
Can
he
you?
actually has one?
He's looking at something.
All right. Can you mouth the word? Just mouth it to me, and I'll let you know if you were right or wrong.
DB.
That's not mouthing
That's
it
not-
at all. All right, Brian and Racine. Brian and Racine.
Am I right though?
No.
Am I on?
You're on.
All right, how about Sam Cassell? Has he been said yet?
No, Sam Cassell has not been said. Sam Cassell is 18 with 22 made threes.
All right, Dave in a car. Dave.
I think I'm right.
You're not.
Gabe, I think I'm right.
You're not. I have the list in front of me. You're not.
Well, his first name isn't D. His last name is B.
It's still not right.
Ashley, who we got?
Drew Bledsoe?
Dave
Played
in a car.
football.
All right, Dave, please save us. For the love of God.
Not to be confused
How
with
about Terry
Eric.
Porter?
His
no.
name's Eric. That's right.
That is incorrect as well. Again, Jen, I don't think was flawed when she said, "Oh, you have to play in a lot of playoff games."
Yes.
Last time I checked, the Bucks were on a pretty good run of playing in a lot of playoff games. Could be wrong about that, but who knows? 800-990-3776. We have the top four. Chris Middleton, Pat Connaughton, Ray Allen, Drew Holiday are the top four. We're looking for the next four all-time playoff career made threes for the Bucks. I figured the last two would be tough. I figured these next two were not going to be.
Rudy and Sheboygan, let's give it a shot.
All right, come on, Rudy.
All right, I missed the last two. Who are the last two that were guessed?
Sam Cassell and one other one that was way off.
Okay, well, I was going to guess Sam Cassell, but why don't we try Desmond Mason?
I don't know if we'll see where Desmond is on this list. Desmond Mason made 0 3-pointers in his Bucks playoff career.
That's close, though.
I thought this list was going to be easy.
I thought we would kind of blow through some of the top six, and then we would kind of fumble through the last two. But this is a bad list on me. This is bad.
No, it's fine.
This is on me.
800-990-3776. I do think, though, that Gabe's point about they've been on a hell of a stretch here over the last few years is a pretty good little nugget.
Again, if Pat Connaughton's on the list as number 2, some other guys might be on the list. That's all I'm saying.
I know who you're talking about.
Do ya?
I mean,
yeah, DB over here.
Yeah, you thought Drew Bledsoe was.
Anyways,
but to be fair, you brought up Aaron Rodgers before, and now he went right to football. That's all he needed. You opened the gate. He's right there.
The one guy works for the station.
No, I'll answer that one. Alan in Milwaukee, you're on. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Brooke Lopez?
Brooke Lopez is number 5. Keep rolling. Come on, Alan. I know you got me here.
Grayson?
No, Grayson Allen
Too
is
much pressure,
16 on the list. He's made 25 threes in his career.
All right, Dave in Milwaukee.
Let's go with Brooke.
With who?
Who did you say, Dave?
Brooke Lopez.
Yeah, Brooke Lopez was just guessed.
guessed.
That's correct. So you still get another one. We have the top 5. Brooke Lopez, 72 made threes.
Let's go with Giannis.
Giannis is number 6 on the list because, again, he's played in a ton of playoff games
And
with
he started
61.
chucking up threes over the last 5 years or so.
He's made 61. So these are the tough ones. These are the tough ones you got to grind through.
I got one of them.
No, you don't.
I do.
Guarantee you don't.
Well, don't ask him to mouth it to you because he'll just say it out loud.
Do you have another guess?
Let's go with George Hill.
George
that's not
Hill
a bad guess.
is not a bad guess. He's 12 on the list with 31 made threes. So that is incorrect.
That's what I just said.
Wrong.
I got half right.
In that he played for the Bucks.
Greg Hill.
That is our producer and my friend. He's not on the list.
Every time.
And he is terrible at shooting threes. I beat him every time we play basketball.
So Chewy has guessed Greg Hill and Drew Bledsoe.
I'd love to see
Gabe,
them
that's
play
one of
one-on-one.
them. Gabe,
In fairness,
that's
they're
one
back
of
to
them right
back.
there. Is that one of them?
No, Eric Bledsoe is number 11 with 32. George Hill is
No,
number 12 with 31.
We can't
Can you see the initials?
Move it up higher.
Hold on. I've got the list up, and I got to pull up my video. Okay, do it again. Show me again.
Oh, my God. I can hear the paper crinkling over
No.
Right there.
No.
You just wanted to put
No.
2 Ds. Mike and Franklin, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Please, for the love of God.
I'm going to go with Dante DiVincenzo.
No, that's incorrect.
There you go.
It's wrong.
Dante DiVincenzo
Maybe
is 35th
Chewy's
on the
game
list.
is to guess what the
people-
callers are going to
Apparently.
guess.
It's a better game to play, apparently, because he'd be crushing it right now.
He is. Other than the football player that he threw in there and the producer for WTMJ that he threw in there.
Dumpy and West Bend, you're back.
Come on, Dumpy.
Hey, I don't know if anyone said this yet. How about Jimmy Ingles?
I
love that he called him Jimmy Ingles.
I do
Thank
love
you.
that. I do love that.
We
but
should give him the win just for that, actually.
Unfortunately, in 2 playoff games, he has not made more than 35, which is what Bobby
Although
Portis is at.
absolutely heat checking last night.
Oh, yeah, it was 5 of 6.
It was so
Why not?
good. Just like running it down and just whoop, and you'd look at it and go, that's not go. Oh, my God, it went in. So now I believe that every shot that Jimmy Ingles takes is going to go in. And we're going to call him Jimmy Ingles from now on.
All right, next up, we've got Jason in West Dallas. Jason, what do you got?
Still 2 left.
Still 2 left. The bottom 2.
Wesley Matthews.
Wesley Matthews is number 8 with 37 made
Come on,
threes.
Jason.
Come on, get number...
Jason.
Come on, get 7.
Tim Thomas.
Timmy Thomas is number 7.
Nice.
The man of 2 tees and 2 headbands.
He was one of my favorites.
Oh, he was... Tim Thomas was the original Bobby Portis.
Yes, 100%, 1,000,000%. He's like been reincarnated.
Yes. Only Bobby's like, a lot better.
He was, yes. He was very likable. He was easy to get behind. And obviously those Bucks teams had some success. I remember he obviously was on the playoff teams.
He was on the team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
But
Tim Thomas,
good guy, nice guy. That's when we were covering him, obviously in the locker room. And, there were some personalities there on that team for sure. But Tim Thomas was always a good guy that you knew you could talk to pretty comfortably. Wouldn't give you a hard time. Like Mr. Mason over there, who would give you just a little grumpy.
Anthony, yeah, he was not a happy. He was not Jason Wilde happy. He was not a happy man.
Not a happy guy. Have you guys tried Celsius energy drink yet? If you haven't, can I tell you about it? It's the clean energy drink that you need, that I need, to stay active and energized all day long. How in the world do y'all think I can get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I can make it through this show, I can handle all my responsibilities, and do it all with a smile on my face most times, most days, most minutes? It's with Celsius Energy Drink. 18 different flavors to choose from: Arctic Vibe, Fuji Apple Pear. You know what? I'm not even going to include you guys anymore. I used to ask them, what's my favorite flavor? And the guys would famously yell out a flavor that was not my favorite flavor. So I'm just going to eliminate y'all. What? No, you don't get to play anymore. You don't get to do the thing where you shout out random flavors of Celsius Energy Drink.
But everybody knows you love
But
cranberry.
you don't get it right. Anytime. Celsius is the essential energy drink that I choose to stay on top of it all, and you can find Celsius at your local Pick and Save stores or online at Amazon. That's what I do. Order it on Amazon, drop it at the door. It's sitting right there. When I walk out to the car, I grab it, and I go. Celsius energy drink, guys. Celsius energy drink. Live fit.
Full show podcasts, interviews, and special content is available right now at WisconsinOnDemand.com. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on 94.5 ESPN.
We're down to just 2 delays on the roads now. You got a 6-minute delay moving from the Zoo interchange over to the Stadium interchange. You'll be moving through quite a bit of stop and go in that stretch of road, and then a little bit of stop and go as well as you move through the Stadium interchange if you're moving from the Stadium freeway onto 94 eastbound. But once you're off that ramp, everything is all clear as you head through to the city, and everything else is all clear on the roads. Traffic is brought to you by Waukesha Gun Club, one of Wisconsin's largest shotgun-only clubs. Trap and sporting clay leagues are forming now. Stop in or register at waukeshagunclub.org. And here's a look at your storm team forecast. Today, showers and storms likely, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high of 65 degrees. And tonight, showers ending, mostly cloudy with a low of 41. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Finn Askin on 94.5 ESPN.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And you know, there's more to being a local Wisconsin bank than perfectly pronouncing Oconomowoc or Waukesha. Or is it Waukesha? But rest assured, at Great Midwest Bank, we understand the local community and economy because we're a part of it. At GMB, we provide customized lending products that others just can't offer. Experience a hometown banking difference. Head to greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here for St. Kate the Arts Hotel. The next time you got a craving for pizza that you just can't ignore, head to Proof Pizza at St. Kate. Proof specializes in fast, casual, Neapolitan-style pizza, along with a selection of delicious appetizers and salads. Try a classic pizza like pepperoni or margarita, or experiment with more unique creations like the artichoke and chicken or the Genoa. Better yet, try a rotating pizza of the month option. Order from the counter at Proof or directly from the bar at St. Kate. Explore the menu and learn more at proofpizzamke.com.
Kevin Murat here from Mentality Men's Health. We hear stories every day in our clinics that what used to work for guys doesn't anymore. Increased cardio, cut out certain food, nothing stops the changes in their bodies, especially the weight. The fact is, years of decreasing testosterone has packed on the belly fat that won't go away. We've introduced a medication, semaglutide, that helps drop 15% of the body weight on average while preserving testosterone. Join the over 20,000 Mentality clients and jumpstart your results. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. And here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive covers pets in our auto policy at no extra charge. Now let's see what your dog has to say.
As a dog, I think Progressive's auto pet policies. Oh, what is that? That's just my tail. Weird. Anyway, Progressive protects. There it is again. See? This is why I need protection. I'm so distracted. Nope, that is still my tail.
Progressive Auto Insurance covers pets for up to $1,000 in a car accident at no extra charge. And we think your dog would say that's great too. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
So overrated.
Come on, his head is a pumpkin.
Yeah, he's so right. Chewy's never been more right about anything.
Chewy was right. Yeah. Holy, Chewy was right.
Yeah.
Imagine the helmet on that dome. It'd be the first 8.5 size. What the?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Another epic episode of Top 8 at 8 here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. If you missed any of that, you can find it on Wisconsin On Demand, wherever you get your podcast. Remember, we are streaming live every single morning from 7 to 9 here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on our Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account, as well as on Facebook, as well as on YouTube. Lots of people weighing in, guys, and agreeing with me about the graphic nature of those movie trailers during the NBA games. What is the movie even called? Evil Dead Mom?
Evil Dead Rising, featuring Dead Mom. Yeah, she's the main feature on the track.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. That's what I've gathered from the very graphic, very traumatic trailers that have been playing during the NBA games. Angie in the minivan weighing in saying, "Preach, Jen, way too graphic. I had to shout at my kids to distract them when they were watching the games, ages 4 and 2. Kimberly weighing in saying, "Jen, I agree with you. I find myself covering my kids' eyes all the time during the Bucks games. It makes me angry, actually." And then unnamed in the 920 saying, "I'm with Jen. I have to stop my kids from watching those commercials. It drives me crazy. We should be able to watch the Bucks games without my young kids being traumatized." Now, those are, I think, at least we know 2 women. Maybe it's a mom's thing. Maybe there's something about like the content of that trailer, which again, it does appear is an evil demonic mother whose children are like seeking her out, or she's behind this door or whatever, and then she thrusts this like skeleton-y hand through the door, and like the long nails, and like, it's very dark. It's very dark.
It's a horror movie. That's what you would expect.
But I guess I feel like it shouldn't be able to be advertised during the NBA games when that's more of like a family audience. Like, my kids are watching the games. These people's kids are watching the games.
I mean, by tipping off the games at 8 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah, but
you can make the argument that the NBA doesn't really care about the children in the audience.
Very good point regarding last night's games, but the previous games have been afternoon games.
Sure.
And so if you're watching it at 4:30 in the afternoon, there is a good chance that kids are going to be sitting around. You know that my dad wouldn't let us watch commercials? Did I ever tell you guys this?
What? No.
When we were kids, and this was pre-clicker, right? Before you had the clicker, you had to walk up there and change the channel and whatnot. Rather than just being able to like change the channel when a television show would go to commercials, he would make us leave the room. So if a sitcom we were watching, Who's the Boss, Perfect Stranger, something like that, went to commercial, we had to stand up, leave the living room, and he would let us know when it was okay to come back. And he did that because he didn't want us to be affected by the commercialization, the commercials and the toys and all the stuff, and then want them and bug them about them, and they couldn't afford to get them for us, so it felt like a win-win for them. Now, when I tell people that story, they think that that's strange.
It is a little strange.
No, we couldn't watch R-rated movies.
Yeah, same here.
When were you able to?
Oh, probably by the time I got to, I don't know, late middle school, early high school.
Out of the house.
Oh, wow.
Wait, so your mom was like, "Don't drink, don't do drugs, and don't watch R-rated movies."
And always wear clean underwear in case you get hit by a tank.
I'm telling you, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
In case you get hit by a tank.
And always put your rubbers on when you're going to church.
I don't think you should be wearing your rubbers. Probably should be wearing your rubbers in church.
Seems like a little crisscrossy there.
No, the rubbers over the shoes. We had this conversation. I just had it with my mother-in-law the other day. Like, the word rubbers meant they're not galoshes because galoshes are boots. These are like rubber things you put over your shoes, and we had to wear them to church, which sounds kind of weird in today's world.
We also, were not allowed to watch The Simpsons.
Me
that
neither.
was a huge fight in
Family
our house
Guy,
when we were growing up.
South Park. I wasn't allowed to watch any of those.
Because, remember, The Simpsons and Bart Simpson, that was like a cultural phenomenon when I was a kid.
Eat My Shorts.
Eat My Shorts, Don't Have a Cow Man. And my grandma had purchased Simpson shirts for all of us. Bart, Maggie, Lisa, all that stuff. And my mother had an absolute fit because she refused to let us wear it. She thought that it was going to rot our brains or something.
Sure.
And now that I look back on, the evidence is there.
Wait, so you would sneak watch The Simpsons?
Yeah, for sure. Go over to a friend's house, watch The Simpsons. That's also how we played Nintendo. We weren't allowed to play Nintendo at my house growing up, so we'd go over to my friend's house and play Nintendo. She'd be like, "What'd you guys do?" And you'd be like, "Do-do-do-do-do-do." Nothing. All right, we got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. But before we do, Gabe, how is the ESPN Milwaukee Cares campaign going?
Oh, it's going pretty well right now. As we sit here, I've got the website up. We're just shy of $2,500 as we try to raise $13,100 to make me run a half marathon in conjunction with the 100 holes of golf that I am playing next Thursday, so I won't be here on the show next Thursday. But a friend of mine runs a charity called Paintings for Pediatrics, and I've been loosely involved with a lot of the things that they do, and with some of the money they raised, they also want to help fund research, which is all the MAC Fund does. So Paintings for Pediatrics, for the next 48 hours, is going to match every donation I get up to $4,000.
Whoa. Sorry. Turn the microphone off because I wanted to give you your moment, but it feels like I need to. They're going to match every dollar.
Correct.
How long? Over what?
For the next 48 hours for up to $4,000.
This feels like a time where we really need the loyal listeners to come through and start making donations, because dollar for dollar over the next 48 hours could mean a lot of money towards this campaign for the MAC Fund.
So if you can only, again, every little bit counts. So if you can only afford $5, that $5 becomes $10, the $10 becomes $20, et cetera, et cetera. And for the next 48 hours, Paintings for Pediatrics is going to be matching every donation up to $4,000. So this could really get this thing jump-started and make me think I may have to actually, run a half marathon.
As a reminder, CARES. If you could text CARES, CARES, right now to 800-990-3776. That will get you a link. That link will bring you to Gabe's fundraising page, and you can make a donation. They actually make it super easy. It's like a click, 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 and you can go ahead and, like Gabe said, $5, $10, $20, $50. I saw a couple of really substantial donations over the last few days, so it does seem like people are hearing you, understanding this commitment that you've made to the MAC Fund and your desire to continue amplifying their message, continue raising funds for research for childhood cancer. We know that this is a good thing. We know that if you can help, this is the time to do it. CARES. Text it right now to 800-990-3776. You'll get a link to Gabe's fundraising page, and you can make a donation. And for the next 48 hours, Gabe, dollar for dollar match from our friends over at
Paintings for Pediatrics.
Paintings for Pediatrics. That is really cool. All right, guys, so now's the time to donate if you haven't yet.
Yep.
Right? Like, because again, donations thus far, amazing, incredible. We certainly appreciate it. But donations right now, dollar for dollar match. So that is really cool. And we will keep you guys updated on how Gabe's campaign is going. Again, it's a little bull honky that there's a deadline all of a sudden. He told us on Monday that next Thursday is the deadline for when we have to raise this $13,100. But I suppose deadline spur action.
I mean, she gets upset when I don't listen to her. She gets upset when I want to make dirty jokes. It's like Jen is the only one who gets to do any of the fun stuff around here.
Now you're following. Now you're getting it. Thank you.
Also, head out to X Golf in Brookfield if you want to enter the drawing. Just donate the $20 out there. You can enter a drawing to win a new TaylorMade driver or putter. So that's been going on all week out at X Golf in Brookfield. I'm going to be out there to try to raise some more funds later tonight as well. Doesn't matter what age you are, low testosterone can be an issue with any guy. Kevin, founder and CEO of Mentality, that's why he started this company, because he was tired, groggy, just didn't have the energy to get through his day, and he couldn't quite figure out why he didn't feel like himself. Turns out his testosterone levels were low, and he wants it to make it easy for guys like me, who also dealing with low testosterone, to get that energy, to get that back, and make sure that everybody's feeling like themselves and they can attack the day with the energy that they need. And it's easy with Mentality, because you go in, you book your appointment, lowtusa.com, you go through the process, you get a blood panel done. Within a week, they get those results back to you, and if your testosterone levels are low, they will start you on a customized testosterone treatment plan just for you. It's not one size fits all. It's not for everybody. If your testosterone levels are low, they will make sure you get a customized testosterone treatment just for you to get you feeling back the way you should. Mentality allows treatment to fit into every guy's lifestyle. Just go to their website. Learn more about Mentality and their low testosterone treatments, lowtusa.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN. The Nets look to get back in the series tonight as things shift back to Brooklyn.
Dinwiddie, left side three, yes, a 22-10 lead.
While the 76ers go for a commanding 3-0 series lead.
Play, they go into Joel Embiid on the right block. He gets doubled, but the shot goes in, and he'll go to the line and shoot.
Nets 76ers Game 3. Coverage starts tonight at 6 right here on 94.5 ESPN. The NBA on ESPN Milwaukee is sponsored by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
All Brewers games are on sale now, including a marquee weekend matchup versus the Red Sox April 21st through the 23rd. Get the one-of-a-kind Yelly Tumbler Gate giveaway on Saturday, presented by American Family Insurance, and treat your crew to Brewers Family Fun on Sunday with special activities for kids, including Brewers player autographs and a chance to run the bases. Get your seats now at Brewers.com.
I'm with the Associate Director of Hunger Task Force, Matt King. Matt, tell me about your organization's mission.
We operate a food bank that provides healthy food absolutely free of charge to people across Wisconsin.
And as your local office technology partner, James Imaging Systems is there to assist you and your organization.
Absolutely, it's really important to work with other local businesses that give back to the community.
I imagine operating a statewide food bank requires the help of a lot of special people.
We actually rely on the help of over 15,000 community volunteers every year.
That's a lot of good people doing a lot of good work.
People can get involved in whatever way feels most comfortable to them. They can give their time, they can give their funds, and they can give their voice.
And for those interested in helping, what's the first step?
People can go to our website at www.hungertaskforce.org.
James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
Are your investments going nowhere? Here's a tip that always pays big dividends. Invest in yourself, your talent, your smarts, your skills. Maybe it's time to make that investment and start a career in IT or upskill to boost your current career. At My Computer Career, you can bank on us. We'll help you get the right skills and the right certifications to start or advance your IT career. IT keeps growing, so go with the growth at My Computer Career. The right training, the right timing, the right career. Invest in you at mycomputercareer.edu. Start now.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
He sounds like the Beatles.
What?
Anyone?
This is a new one on me.
Listen
Even
to
I
his
don't
interview,
know.
the way he talks. He sounds like Paul McCartney. Ringo farted and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
If you are saving up for something, and honestly, who amongst us isn't currently saving up for something? Here's a funding option that you may not have considered. How about a home equity loan? Great Midwest Bank makes that process, the home equity loan process, easy. Now that spring has sprung, although it sort of has decided to go back into its whole Punxsutawney Phil style, but maybe spring will actually spring over the next few weeks. You might want to use your home equity loan to cover landscaping or putting in that patio that you've always wanted. Great Midwest Bank's loan officers are ready to get you started, and there are so many reasons why you should use Great Midwest Bank, but mostly because they're all local loan officers. They live in your neighborhoods and in your communities, and they will take the time to listen to what your goals are and figure out the plan that is best for you and your family. Visit GreatMidwestBank.com to apply for a home equity loan right now. GreatMidwestBank.com, GreatMidwestBank.com. Lots of folks weighing in on the Wisconsin sports PTSD, and we were talking about it this morning because Bucks obviously lost game 1 against the Heat, and people were uncomfortable. And I think, again, a lot of the uncomfortableness was due to the Giannis injury. Don't know when we'll see him next. Obviously didn't play last night, didn't need him last night to beat the Heat, but it would be nice to get him back in the rotation sooner rather than later, I think.
I think we see him Saturday night. If he got upgraded to questionable yesterday,
from doubtful,
from doubtful, and the way that Mike Budenholzer has been talking, because again, Budenholzer is usually really coy when it comes to injuries, doesn't want to reveal too much information. So when he continuously talks about how optimistic that they are with Giannis, I think we see him sooner rather than later.
So the PTSD thing came up because there is this lingering kind of threatening idea that we can't have nice things in Wisconsin. We can't have championships. Obviously, the Bucks did change that narrative with the title several years ago. But anytime something seems to go sideways, people tend to tense up a little bit. 83% of people right now responding on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll saying, yes, Wisconsin sports fan PTSD is a thing. Ty, the sports guy, Chew, weighing in saying, yeah, the 2014 NFC Championship game officially broke me.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think it's that one and Wisconsin losing to Duke when they were up, 12 with so much time left? That one stung. I would say those two were the worst.
Yeah, I think they were up 8 with 12 minutes to go, I believe is the numbers there for that Wisconsin team. But honestly,
the Packers,
Sure, this might start with
Packers
you guys.
of late haven't helped.
This might start with you guys.
Denver?
Yeah.
Congrats.
You guys were double-digit favorites in that game.
Way to go.
Hey,
and
I got my guy.
I mean, in the 90s, nobody really had expectations for any of the sports teams here in Wisconsin. You guys taught us about expectations and then fell flat on your face in Super Bowl 32.
I mean, Game 7, Brewers-Dodgers with a trip to the World Series on the line. I know that broke a lot of people's hearts. Speaking of, Brewers got a sweep, by the way, out in Seattle, back home tomorrow. Where's my hat? Where's my beer hat?
In the fridge.
Who could say, really?
Did you take my beer hat? Did you destroy my beer hat?
Jen?
Thank you, Gabe.
The thing about lockers is you should probably lock them.
Well, we are going to have to get to the bottom of that some other time. Will D. Josh is next on ESPN Wisconsin. We'll see you.
We now have a crash at the exit to Watertown Plank Road from 41 South. Looks like a car is off on the shoulder, so no delays, but something to watch out for. Otherwise,